avoid legal snags by telling people they're being recorded. Hey guys, you're being recorded.
This is a Pennsylvania is a two-party consent state, so I will neither confirm nor deny my consent.
Oh. Then
you sound very practiced in that.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Sound like you've been on the receiving end of both that conversations. I don't consent, man. I don't consent.
Listen, those chat rooms are tricky. All right, you gotta.
Well, anyway, welcome to Strength Hammer Podcast Episode 1. Yay! Woo. I know this is our second time recording.
I think it's actually like our 5th time recording.
It was about 5.
Yeah, 5.
See if we can make this one not end in racism and vulgarities.
Wow,
I thought that was the point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So hi, I'm Chuck. Welcome to the Strength Hammer Podcast. You might know me for all the Stormcast Strong stuff on Twitter. Strength Hammer is the name I go by in the community. I love my Daughters of Cain. I love Taylor Swift. And I wanted to do a podcast, so I got 4 of my best Warhammer buddies.
Count again.
3 of my best. Hey, you know what? It's about self-love,
yo.
It's self-love. So Sean, why don't you tell us about who you are and why you agreed to come on and make fun of my counting errors?
I'm Sean McAfee. I go by Brush for Hire online. I don't play any of these games, but I paint and hang out with fellow nerds. I agreed to come on here because I don't have any friends, so this is about as close as I'm going to get, because usually there has to be some kind of protective barrier between me and other people anyway, so this works.
That's because you make fun of them on our own show within 3 seconds of the show starting.
Stop making it so easy, Chuck.
I know. We also have Matt Hayward. Matt, say hi.
Hi, you might know me as Matt Hayward and not online. If you see Lazenka NTM anywhere, that's me. I do have Twitter. I do not use it, but if you mention me, I will favorite it, even if you make fun of me. And I agreed to do this because Chuck needed some talent. So that's what I would do.
Well, since we have the talent and we have the guy that doesn't play Warhammer at all, Neil, why don't you introduce yourself and help save this show?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I am Neil LaRocca, and I go by the very surprising Twitter handle of @NeilLaRocca. You can find me on there. I run the Ren 4 Club in Ohio. Other than that, I'm a terrible Warhammer player, but I just generally love it. So, yeah, that's me.
Well, now that you everyone knows everybody here, I mean, really the reason, Sean, could you not do that to the audience and sort through your taxes while we're doing this?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get some hobby stuff to do. Everybody else is hobbying, and I'm just like sitting here staring at the screen like a weirdo. It's making it uncomfortable. Mainly because I'm not wearing pants.
Maybe if you showed up on time to record, you'd have your hobby stuff set.
Maybe if you quit picking a new app every damn time we record, I would be all ready to go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lash out.
Jeez.
I mean, I totally did.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Well, essentially
for the first and last time on the show, I think.
We'll see. But yeah, so the show is created just for a chance to, talk more to people that want to listen to what me and you guys have to say about painting, about the hobby, and then also about fitness, obviously, with Strength Hammer being the name of the podcast and being something that I do every day, going to the gym and working out. And I know, Neil, you do as well, and then Matt, Sean, you're looking to improve yourself. So, we'll have hobby commitments as we chat here and hang out, and we'll also be talking about our fitness goals and trying to help each other improve, and then maybe have some of the audience, if anyone actually downloads the show, join in as well and kind of help motivate everybody to just be better, live longer, so we can play War Dollies more.
I don't know. Saying every day there, Chuck, for me is kind of a little bit of a stretch. I don't want anybody to actually see me and then like, wait a second. No, but as often as I can. I'll put it that
way. You are disappointing, sir.
Well, I mean, you'll get back into CrossFit soon enough, and you'll be part of that cult again. I mean, it's not a cult. It's not a cult.
Cults are organized. I've seen CrossFit videos. There's no organization there. It's just
it's trying to survive whatever workout is on that wall.
Do you ever see the nightmare videos from like guitar centers where it's like 30 kids playing thrash metal at the same time on 30 different guitars? That's kind of like the CrossFit equivalent of working out. It's like 30 psychos all just making noise and doing weird shit in the background.
That's not wrong. I don't think that's wrong at all.
It's not wrong at all.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's not the best description I've ever seen.
Although I'll have to remind Sean that we're trying to stay as family friendly as possible on this show.
Oh, are we doing that again? Okay.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna try.
Okay,
because
so
I don't want to have to edit it, but I'm gonna have to edit it. I feel.
That's all right. I'll keep it restrained.
Well, since we're all actually sitting here hobbying painting models, as long as Sean, you have something out you're painting now, are you caught up to everybody else?
I'm not painting. I am sculpting currently. So
I'm memorizing rules.
Yeah.
Well, Sean is probably the real artist out of the four of us. So actually, Sean, what are you working on? Are you able to talk about it? Is it something?
Yeah. Right now, that I'm working on currently is the sculpting the water base for that miniature for your army. That way you can give it a shot at painting it, but at least the bases will match in sculpting and tone. And I am working on probably one of the most fun projects I've had in a long time. I have a client who wanted me to do some conversions to a unit of pink horrors, and he wanted them to have no eyes whatsoever. So I ground off all the eyes and faces and then sculpted it in smooth and added some extra little conversions. And the last bit of converting I need to do right now is adding more to the icon bearer just to make them more horrific than they already are. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, trying to button that project up.
Yeah, I've seen a few pictures that you posted of those eyeless horrors, and they're horrifying. I don't know if I like them. They're a little too real for me.
They're doing their job properly then. If it makes people uneasy, then I'm doing it right, because that's the whole goal. I wanted to make them very uncomfortable.
Are you doing them flesh color, or are you doing them actually like pink and blue? Okay.
No, they're going to be flesh color, and they're going to have kind of like red undertones for like that soreness and that weird, just like chafed flesh kind of feel and stuff like that. And we going back and forth with the customer, and probably going to make them pretty gory too, with like a lot of gore and blood and just gobs of disgusting to go with the whole feel of making them just like straight out of a nightmare horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but I'm gonna like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you.
I'm gonna hate every moment of enjoying those models.
That's kind of what I want from it. I want people to just be like, oh, I love this, but it's so horrible to look at.
Well, Neil, what are you working on?
I am working on some plague drones right now for Chuck's Tale of Four Wargamers multi-club event right now. So, and while I'm doing that, I'm staring at a bunch of unpainted terrain that I have to do for the Ren 4 tournament that's coming up that I am TOing in the summer. So, that just piles and piles and piles of stuff to do. So.
Yep, never ends. Matt, what do you got?
I am currently painting up Fire Slayers so I can win Neil's Rend 4 tournament this summer.
That's all.
Last year I
won't be playing.
Yeah, last tournament I came in second to last, third to last, down there.
See, I think you're third to last because you just edged me out at second to last. So,
see, you're saying it wrong. You didn't get second or third to last. You got best sports.
That's true. That's true. I was the best loser.
Yep.
I was a graceful loser all weekend, and this time I plan to throw sports in the garbage and gloat and
Flip tables, punch
yeah,
children.
it's going to be all. That's all. Like every 6 I roll, middle fingers, swearing, cursing, throwing stuff. It's Neil. You might have. I'm going to get you right to the point where you're like, if he keeps it up, I'm going to have to ask him to leave. Right
No,
at that edge.
I would never do that. I would encourage it. Like, more, please, more, yes.
Oh boy.
I want to see children crying.
That's right.
I will be sure to cry then. Don't worry.
That's the Ren 4 tournament's all about.
Well, I'm working on a Slaughter Queen conversion of a Canary model with shredded wings for the Realms at War event. Even though I'm not attending it, attended it last year. It's a great narrative event over in England, run by Mitzi and Jimbo, Steve and Ming, and I just like using their narrative packs to kind of help grow the lore of my army. So I'm participating in that aspect, even though I won't go play. So that's what I got going on. And boy, am I loving painting this model right now. But I should be focusing on the notes. But I guess next on the docket is to talk about kind of maybe where we're at on a fitness level. As much detail as everyone's comfortable with. Maybe just like what you do to improve your fitness. If you want to talk metrics, go right ahead, guys. I'll start here. So, as mentioned before, I do CrossFit. It's not my first love, but it is something that helps me get better in my weaknesses, which is cardio and endurance training, essentially, because some of the workouts can be half hour, 40 minutes, and hundreds of reps of push-ups or air squats or anything, you name it. It's hard and it's challenging, but I enjoy it. But if I had to say what I really love about fitness, it would be more powerlifting. So bench press, back squats, and deadlifts. I could do those 3 movements for the rest of my life over and over again and just watch that weight go up. So
Makes you powerlifting, Chuck.
Yeah, I do want to compete in it, actually, at some point. With like a secondary, I'm also interested in strongman. So a lot of people are Game of Thrones fans. So the Mountain, Hafthor Bjornsson, he's the world's strongest man currently. So I watch him from that angle. I didn't really watch Game of Thrones, so be sure to dislike and tell me how much you don't like me in the comments below.
Just lost all of our listeners.
Yep.
I don't watch Game of Thrones either. I have no interest in that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's over. But
I thought you were going in a different direction. I was like, I don't think you have to worry. He doesn't watch you. Like, it's you don't owe him anything.
No, but yeah. So I really want to compete in powerlifting and then eventually get strong enough to try competing in amateur strongman. Although the strongman is very far away because the ground level for a lot of even amateur level events, I still can't lift that heavy yet. But it's aspirations and it's goals. Like I said, I'm 5'8", 5'9", 200 pounds. I put on a lot of muscle the past couple of years of doing this lifting, and like I said, it's been fun to kind of help let it bleed into my Warhammer hobby and my Warhammer friends, and see everyone accept it and enjoy it. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I should say also right now, at the time of recording, we're in the middle of the first ever Stormcast Strong 6-week fitness challenge, and we had 69 people sign up. So thank you to everyone who signed up. It was a free event. There's going to be some prizes at the end. Nothing big, more just encouragement to get everybody moving and doing a little bit more to improve themselves. And I got to give a big shout out to my Australian brother Hayden, who's really doing a lot of the work behind it. He's a personal trainer and has the knowledge to help do this. And I won't lie, I'm kind of just being the face on it, but I'm happy to encourage. That's where my strengths are at. So it's been fun getting to interact with him a lot more and working with him on this. So shout outs to Hayden. But Neil,
for the prize support, is it whey protein?
It's actually going to be Warhammer models, but maybe there'll be some protein. We'll see. We'll see.
We're gonna get some washes with some protein sprinkled in.
You gotta dig the miniatures out of a can of protein powder.
Hey, you're giving me ideas. You're giving me ideas.
You got to put the protein in your paint water in case you drink that too. You know, as you're painting.
You know, I wonder.
Wait, what do you mean in
Okay.
case you drink it? I just drink it.
But before we dive into Neil, your current quote unquote fitness level, I have thought about trying to base an army with protein powder and then washing and painting over it, just to be that guy. I think it'd have to be my corn though, just because they're the big, muscly, ripped dudes.
You have to.
But anyway, Neil, please let us know who you are.
I am a physical therapist by trade, or a physio for those of you listening in England. And I go about 202, just shy of 6 feet tall. And I need to be at about 175 if I'm really feeling good at my fighting weight there. So that's going to be the goal right now for me. I am just getting back into the gym from a little bit of a hiatus. So getting back into kind of the CrossFitting and all that outside of the actual CrossFit gym. I did that for about 2 years, so pretty well versed in all the movements and all that. Powerlifting, just like Chuck was talking about, is my favorite thing to do there too. So just getting back into it, trying to build back up, and see if I can't do a pull-up or two along the way here. It's been a while since I've been on the bars.
Gotta get those calluses back.
Oh yeah. Gonna have to use the bands here for a little while, I'm afraid.
Matt, would you like to share?
Okay, yeah, sure. Now you said the cameras aren't on.
Oh, the cameras are on, but this will probably be an audio only.
Okay, so I'm 6'5", 180 pounds, 12 pack.
Still my joke.
No, so I am the large one of the group. I am 6'4", but I am just shy of 400 pounds. There's my fitness level is basically non-existent. Essentially, it's probably the same story with a lot of people. Is, you know, I had a lot of physical jobs growing up, and I was always big and just naturally strong. So fitness really was never an issue for me. It was never really a concern. And the last physical job I had about 5 years ago, I was delivering auto parts where I injured my back. And so then it took a relatively sedentary lifestyle and made it pretty much a cement lifestyle. It's not an excuse. It's just a reason. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't, there's a lot of people that have a lot worse pain that are not my size. My fitness flaws. I don't eat excessively, but I don't eat healthfully. And then, like I said, I come home and I do not exercise at all. So I want to use this once we get things rolling to use it as a measuring stick to try and get somewhere. Because as all fat people, I am constantly on a diet and constantly trying to lose a couple pounds. Like I said, as far as that goes, it's like as far as goals and stuff like that. Whenever you are nowhere, it's hard to even know what a particular goal is. So right now, I think the smartest goal for me would be to figure out what my goals are. Get in, get situated, see what I can and cannot do, and then try and push the limit without hurting myself.
No, I think that's some key stuff to keep in mind, because the goals are fluid. So whatever you set, as you work towards it, you'll achieve it. And you'll have new goals. So it's a never-ending cycle, but it's a good cycle to be on if your goals are healthy and actually achievable. So that's great.
From the physical therapist aspect, you said the golden thing is not hurting yourself. If you are one of those people who are just trying to get back into this, we have a little saying in the physical therapy realm that most injuries occur from doing too little for too long after doing, or doing too much too soon after doing too little for too long. So If you jump back in it, both feet in, and you're not careful, it's a good way to be back on the couch for a long time. So you do have to go at that carefully.
Sean,
What's up?
you're up next.
Oh, okay. I've always had a high metabolism. Oh, okay, yeah, we know. Let's go with the physical description thing, I guess, first. I don't know, I'm like 5'9"-ish and 165 pounds. I am the lightweight of the group. My heaviest was almost 200 I've ever been. And like, it was like, for me, just that 30-pound swing, like I had constant back pain and all kinds of issues and stuff like that. And I had some other issues, got on some medication, which really kind of helped with the weight that I was putting on and stuff like that. And it kind of swung in the other way because it was an appetite suppressant. That wasn't why I got on it, but that happened to be a side effect I didn't know about. And there was like, for the first week, I didn't like eat anything. And it was like this big shock to me because it was like swinging the other way of unhealthy. So it's like I've had to kind of like do this management where I have to consciously eat or I won't eat. So it's like I have to go, okay, it's noon. I need to eat something, whether I'm hungry or not, because my body probably needs it. I just don't realize it. And then next thing I know, it'll be 5 o'clock and I'm like dying because I have no energy left. And so for me, I went from having metabolism that was just bonkers. And even still, when I was at my heaviest, my metabolism was still pretty bonkers for a simple fact of the amount of garbage I was eating. I probably should have weighed about twice what I did. But my metabolism did keep it at about 195, 200, thankfully. And, but I still wasn't healthy just because I wasn't super heavy. So it wasn't a good thing either. But ever since I lost the weight, I don't go to the chiropractor and stuff anymore. And I don't have the back issues, thankfully. But I don't want to ever like take that for granted either, that I go, well, I don't weigh a lot, so I'm in shape. But kind of the flip side is that I've always really tried to have a physically demanding job, because working out is just like one of the most, it's not that I hate the working out, it's just I feel like I'm doing absolutely nothing and wasting time is the way I kind of feel when I work out. And it's like, I watch the people run up and down my road, because there's a lot of people around me that are very physically active that do a lot of running. I go, that has to be the most boring thing I can think of. And it's not that I dislike running, it's just, I feel like I'm doing absolutely nothing. And so for me, I'd rather have a physical job where I'm carrying a lot of weight, I'm constantly moving, I'm constantly doing things and staying active, I'm not sitting, and have that kind of physical activity all day long than to even have to try and work out for 30 minutes. And it's kind of ironic because I have a whole gym set up in my basement because my wife loves working out. And I don't use any of that stuff. Like, we have all kinds of stuff in that room, and I use none of it. I've never used a single thing. At least not for the purpose it was intended for. I'm usually doing something stupid on the verge of hurting myself.
Well, as someone who likes working out, I can agree with you that running is very boring.
Agree.
But it also means I should probably do it more because I'm not great at it. But yeah, I mean, that kind of gives a good intro to all of us and who we are, for our audience to get to know us a little bit better. But like I said, the overall goal of the podcast is to, talk more about these types of subjects and, engage a little more with the community as far as generally just our hobby, as well as getting to know us. Because as you can probably tell, we're going to keep this a very unrigid structure of a podcast. We'll aim to release a show every month, but we'll release a show when we have something to talk about, really. If it's every 2 months, 3 months, that's fine. And it's going to be us hobbying and chatting and, having a topic in mind. But, it might be a review, it might be a tournament or event we just attended, or it might be how we finally got Sean to play a game.
It's going to happen.
Oh, you're saying in the future. I'm like, I didn't play any games.
No, in the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't do that.
I won't.
Make me hate my hobby. It's all I have.
No. But yeah, I mean, tonight, not really having much of a topic of choice, but the one thing I guess that would be kind of nice to talk about with the just a general topic is how to kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and this is probably a topic that we'll come back to maybe more in depth later. It's something that is near and dear to my heart because it's really how I got started with working out because it hurts. Like let's like anyone disagree? Does this working out feel good all the time?
Maybe
I
at
thought you were-
16. Not anymore.
Yeah. But I know personally when I started working out, it hurt. I hurt. It was always pain, and it's that moment of why would I keep doing this? This just hurts. And then you just I forget where I heard it. It probably a YouTuber or maybe somewhere on Instagram. But to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I kind of kept that as a little mantra to continue pushing myself, and eventually it did. Like the soreness I feel now from working out for the past 4 days, like 3-4 years ago, I would be like on the couch, feet up, not wanting to do anything. Now I'm just that's just part of what I carry, but I kind of wear it. It's sort of like a badge. Like I know it's there because I'm creating growth, I'm generating growth, and I'm improving myself. So I've gotten very comfortable with just being sore in different places based upon how I'm working out. So definitely maybe like a mindset to get into. Have you guys tried to do anything similar with that? Whether it's fitness, maybe dieting, or anything, even sitting down and painting 30 models in a row, even though you really don't want to keep sitting there and your back's aching.
Yeah, that's basically been my week. I've been painting these models, and then every hour or so I get up and my hips hurt, my back hurts. Then I go to do something else, and that hurts my back. And then,
But are those models getting completed?
Debatable.
But there is progress, I assume. Like jokes aside.
Yes, yeah.
I saw
there's,
pictures. They look really good.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go into little. Well, no, I'll save that for hobby whenever we talk about that. You guys can talk about pain. That works.
No. What elaborate? I'm actually kind of curious, Matt.
Okay. So as far as that goes, I've been working on Fire Slayers, and it's been an interesting couple days getting some progress in. So I had these when they first came out. I built them and tried playing them a little bit, and I didn't like how they first played. And then whenever they redid the rules and made them a little bit better, I tried playing them again, and I started liking that. And then they were like, whoa, 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 you can't enjoy that. Holy Within. And then they went back on the shelf. So, but in the meantime, this was, early in my painting career when they first came out, and I really didn't know too much about it. The only thing I really knew is that all the flesh colors, all the solid base and layer flesh paints are basically like trying to paint with gum. So, and you don't need to worry about censoring that. I said gum with a G. That's
Too thin coats.
Okay. All right.
So then I used a buddy's airbrush to airbrush them all flesh tone. Well, now the issue is I prefer a very pale flesh tone on my models. I don't know if it's just because I don't like tanning or what, but so I typically just like what's it called? Reichland flesh shade over white. Just one coat. That's all I want. I want it as just as barely peachy as possible. So now I have a bunch of bronze Adonis Dwarden who look like they came from Hawaii, which no one will care. They're like, it's only my preference, but so I'm getting used to that. But then other than that, I'm going back and I'm making all of the hair white. because I've been recently doing all of my painting in as much washes as possible, because I keep trying to do the like gradients, wet blending, and stuff like that, and I can't quite get it. So whenever I get something on tabletop, I don't want to sit there and stare at errors. So I found a formula that I was curious about, where I would get all the hair white, and then I would do one layer of Casandora yellow, let that dry, put it on a little thick, just so you get some of that orange pigment still in there. And then once that's on there, do the Fuegan orange on top. And it actually is exactly what I wanted it to be. So I'm super excited about it. From a distance, it looks orange. Whenever you look at it, you can actually see the yellows. You can see in the recesses a little bit of a brown forming. So you actually have like this three different shades all put together in one place. So I'm really interested to see how that turns out on the wide scale, because I know Fire Slayers get a lot of grief for a lot of similar looks. And I think with this way, like doing it this way, that's almost more of a positive. I mean, even the flesh shade, I put it on in such a way that it really did pool the way it's supposed to. And I'm excited with how that looked, even though they are tanner than I would prefer.
I mean, there you go. Like, that's kind of it at the base of it. Like, you may not be fully enjoying what you're doing right now. Like, not that you hate it, but it's a bit of a struggle. But you know that the end result is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly kind of what that concept is. Like I said, I try to put it in various aspects of life, and like I said, and as you can see from these two examples, it works whether you're lifting weights or painting models. But what about you, Neil or Sean? Any experience with it, or realize that maybe you've been doing it without realizing it? And any aspect of life that you want to share.
You're good, Neil. I got it, but mine be a little lengthier.
Well, for me, I mean, going back into working out and CrossFit and everything, and talking about being sore and all that, and just needing to do it. I got back into it. We do this workout, and actually Memorial Day is coming up, and it's called the Murph. And I'm sure Chuck, you're aware of what the Murph is now.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Murphy, I think it was Lieutenant Murphy, is somebody in the Army who did this workout pretty consistently, if not every day. And he had a weighted pack. He'd run a mile. He would come back. He would do 100 push-ups. Or no, I'm sorry, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then go run another mile.
That was all with that weight on his chest.
Right. And so the very first workout I ever did in CrossFit was that. Now, obviously, I could not do 100 push-ups all at once. I could not do 100 pull-ups. We just had to break it down and just had to get it done. So after that was probably the most sore I've ever been. Like I said, I'm a physical therapist, but I work in a subacute rehab, so I have to try and lift people with spinal cord injuries and strokes and things like that. So that was a little rough. And what I found is as we kept going on, my experience in the past was that you would stop being sore after working out for a while. But with CrossFit, they have a way to keep you sore always. So it never really stopped. And, they have kind of like a sore life kind of mantra, and now you don't have to be sore all the time to get fit or anything like that. But it's just interesting, kind of a shift in it, just kind of accepting that and trying to really build off of that. And so yeah, that's what it was for me working out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to Murph.
Murph's the best. You'll learn to love Murph.
Oh boy. Anyway, Sean, I know you said you had something. What?
Yeah, so for me, it's been a real kind of dynamic life change, where through the past couple of years have been really kind of soul searching time for me about what I want to do with my life and how I want to live it. And, I had a job making really good money and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, and it wasn't like I totally hated the job, but it was getting frustrating. It was getting irritating. It was just taking more and more. And what it took to earn the money just wasn't becoming worth the money anymore. And kind of what happened was through a series of different speakers and people talking and stuff like that. Like Jim Carrey was one of them, and he told this amazing story at a commencement speech he gave talking about his father. And the one thing he said about his father was his father made a safe choice to become an accountant in that because that was the safe choice for his family to provide, and he did well. But then he got laid off one day, and all of a sudden the whole family's scrambling for money. And he talked about how his dad was funny, like really funny. He said he could have been one of the best comedians that ever lived, but he made the safe choice for the sake of the family. And at the end of the day, he ended up without a job anyways. And he said that was the greatest lesson like his dad ever taught him, was that you can make the safe choices, but you can still fail at those. So you might as well take a risk on the things that you love. And that hit me in a way that I really needed. And through a series of events at work and stuff like that, and some changes they made, and just made things so much worse, and cut my pay for no reason, and just some other stupid stuff. And, I just kind of had enough of it, and really just kind of started making this journey to do something different with my life. And, fast forward to now, it's like, in the first week of April, I closed on my own building to use as an art studio. And, it's like I become, fully independent of anybody else, so it's like I depend on myself completely for a paycheck now, and have to generate my own work, so I paint miniatures professionally, and I've done that for like 19 years anyways, but now it's like I depend on it. So it's kind of this dynamic shift of, being married and having a house I have and dogs and everything else I have to, help provide for. My wife's been fully supportive and stuff like that, but she understands the risk too. And it is a risk, sitting in this building painting miniatures by myself is very much different than sitting at a coffee table or a painting desk and painting. It's been kind of this interesting dynamic shift, and it puts a whole different kind of weight on my painting. Before it was for kind of extra fun money. Now it's because I need the money. So for me, it's really cool thing where it's kind of gone out of my comfort zone, but it's something I've really wanted. So for me, it's really exciting. And I have other art projects and stuff I'm going to do, because this building's huge, and I have other things I'm going to be making and stuff outside the miniature world too. So it's like I got a lot of cool stuff I'm going to be doing, and I've been wanting to do for years, and just not had the space or time, or been willing to take that leap into the deep end, so to speak. So for me, this has been like kind of a really cool dynamic shift, which is even within the past month or so.
That's great. And as your friend, I just want to let you know that as you get more and more successful, that this podcast is looking for sponsors.
So am I. I'm looking for sponsors too.
You guys could sponsor each other.
Oh boy.
Sponsored by Brush for Hire.
Not to take away from the awesomeness that you just said, but I would like to point out that Jim Carrey inspired you, and due to a series of unfortunate events, you got the opportunity to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, well, it's life's a journey, so you gotta.
That's a deep cut there, I think. Like, I get that reference because it's one of my favorite movies, but man.
Listen, just was it's Netflix, right?
Yes.
Well, he's not in the TV series. He's not in that series.
Watch a movie, people.
We've heard of Lemony Snicket, all right?
Yes.
And no, I didn't watch it because it looked awful.
It was really good.
Well, I'm glad.
It's very strange. Like, it's not what people expected, but it is good.
You know what else is good? Warhammer. Warhammer's great. Let's
Warhammer.
let's talk about, like, I guess, more broader, not what we're working on immediately in front of us, but just in general. Neil, what's more of your long-term hobby goals and commitments right now? I know you mentioned the Ren 4 tournament and all the terrain for that, but anything beyond that even?
Really beyond that, it's just growing the community. That's really what it's all about for me. When I started out, so the whole Ren 4 club outside of the tournament was started with 3 guys. And we just kind of grew it little by little. This is back when Age of Sigmar was, let's say, not very popular. So no point system, nothing like that. A lot of people burning armies and all that fun stuff. But I love the game, so I kind of wanted to find people in an area and was able to do that, and just made a Facebook page, and just now we are where we are, and that's a couple hundred people on the Facebook page, a lot of active members. We do all sorts of crazy stuff on the page to get people talking to each other, get people kind of participating, showing pictures of what they're hobbying, pictures of the games that they're playing, just trying to be active and finding a place that's positive, and just where we can enjoy the hobby. So just more of that, really, as much as I can. We've started out, like I said, 3 people in Northeast Ohio. We branched out. It's the reason why I know you guys. It's through getting into Pennsylvania here a little bit, and I try to go out and try to go to different events when I can. I do have 2 kids and a wife, so we have to pick my spots a little bit, but yeah, so just trying to keep on doing that. I recently went over to the Steel City Sigmar guys, who are kind of a sister club as well, that are in the area. We see those guys quite a bit. Like to try and make it out to more of their events in the future. But outside of that, it's just trying to keep people involved and keep people enjoying Age of Sigmar. So that's really what drives me in this hobby. Because as I said, I'm a marginal player. Love the game, but you'll never see me higher than the mid tables. That's probably a good tournament for me if I'm hovering around there. And then as far as painting goes, I like the stuff that I do, but I'm also not going to be winning any painting awards, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that as well. So it's all about really just trying to build the community and get people, more fun, more people, more fun, So
Yeah, you need to let me know next time you go to a Steel City event, because embarrassingly, I've never actually gone to a Steel City event, which for the folks at home, that's my home club that is 20 minutes away.
Well, that's, yeah.
But I have participated in more of the Chuck's club that is an hour and a half one way, and Neil's event, which is 2 hours the other way.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll see if Mike will give us a little grudge match in some tournament there.
Yeah, we'll have to get Mike on too, because I guess the one thing we didn't also notice or mention, Matt, Sean, and myself are located around the Pittsburgh area or an hour or so outside, and Neil, you're over by Akron, Ohio?
Close, a little bit halfway between Cleveland and Akron. Yeah.
Okay. But
Out by the magical city Ravnica, right?
Oh yes, Ravenna, Ohio. That is where the club is largely based out of. We don't claim any particular, local gaming shop or whatever to run out of. But yeah, that's where I play.
I wouldn't claim Ravenna either. That's
hey,
nothing wrong with Ravenna.
They have those
high crime.
they have the squirrels with the all black fur, and I love seeing those when I go through there. I was when we first went to the first Ren 4, and I saw one, and actually our friend Alex was in the car, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then we started seeing more and more and more, and I thought it was the best thing in the world. and then I get out of the car and I'm talking to Neil, like, you guys have these black furred squirrels. It's fantastic. Like, I've never seen these before. And you're like, oh, they're everywhere. It was like a experiment where they released them, and then just they're everywhere now. And I'm just like, the magical land that I thought Ravenna was just shot and gone.
Come for the black squirrels, stay for the Warhammer.
I had 2 on the way over
here. Wearing them like a belt.
That should be your trophies.
That's right. Just squirrel teeth necklaces. That's all. Yeah.
Anyway, Matt, what's some of your longer term hobby goals, commitments?
Well, finally working on my Fire Slayers, the 1.5-year-old models. if not more, now that I think about it. So as far as that goes, I'm going to finish these guys up, hit up Ren 4, and then after that, gonna finally finish up some KO. Then after that, we're going old school with some Dispossessed. Then beyond that, my goal is to eventually have all of the different Warhammer Underworld armies painted. That shouldn't really be a goal, as there's only 4 models per warband. But as a procrastinator and a half, as a professional procrastinator, I'm about halfway, and that ain't too bad.
There you go.
Other than that, I hope it's okay to go here, Chuck. But my goal is to knock Nova out of the park. Since I will be or at least assist TOing with the GT and team tournament. I want to be a little bit more useful this year since I won't be ringing. So I definitely want to be able to be more assistance than I was last year.
Yeah, no, I'll agree to that. I'm looking forward to Nova, but
I'm looking forward to a little more help for sure.
But I'll get into that, I guess, after we'll let Sean go next on your longer term hobby stuff.
To not crash and burn with my business. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's right. We need those sponsors
for my family.
I'd like my wife to not kick me out of the house for financial reasons. I mean, I got lots of other reasons for her to kick me out. But being a poor provider is not one of those I'd like it to be. I'd like it to be one of my crazier quirks. I got a couple different things coming up. Like I got Gen Con coming up. I'm going to be entering a painting competition there. I'd like to place there, really up my painting game and dedicate the time to it instead of rushing every entry I try and do. Nova, of course, is going to be a big one. I love Nova. It's my favorite. That's a long term. I'm entering the Masters again. I'd like to place it in the Masters this year. I'm teaching a class at Nova. A couple classes at Nova this year. I'm really excited about that. So one of my goals is to get enough people in my classes to fill up my classes, because I'd really like, my first time teaching officially in a setting like that to go well. An even longer term thing in next year's, because it's kind of the way I think a lot of time is with Golden Demon now being announced at Adepticon. I'd like to place or enter and place there too.
You have to use all GW paints for that, right?
Yeah, well, they can test it if they want.
No, that's not.
Because use only contrast paints.
You just lick it, they're flavored.
Yeah.
Privateer press smash.
This tastes like lead. This isn't ours.
Actually, I'm interested to see if I could, maybe within the next couple of years, get a finalist pin at Golden Demon since it's coming to the U.S. Like, I'm not a fantastic painter either, but I really try. I might get there. We'll see. But that's also more of I'm not comfortable doing anything that's not army painting. I don't know how people can sit at one model and paint it for 20, 30, 40, 50 hours when I'm like 2 in and I'm done.
We'll get you a frigate.
There we go. But I guess my long-term commitments, I mean, I have a lot. There's a lot of events I'm doing this year. I do a lot for my local club as far as Age of Sigmar goes, rebuilding new tables this year. Obviously, my biggest focus this year is getting Nova up to speed. We're trying to add a lot more terrain. We're trying to add table space. My focus this year is the doubles and GT won't be anything crazy or different. They're going to be very stock standard, if you will, but that's because I want to get everything around them set this year and running smooth and have that team in place. So everyone will walk away and going, yep, that was a great event. I had fun. And then next year I can play with the format for like the doubles, especially. I'm looking at playing with the format a little bit. And then the GT, it's obviously going to stay more competitive focused, but where can I where can I play and make it unique compared to LVO and Adepticon without making it too out there that people feel it's not a competitive event anymore. So that's my big focus. And outside of that, it's, painting Daughters of Cain, painting Sylvaneth, painting Slanesh, painting Idoneth Deepkin. If it's an elf or related to elves, I'm going to be painting it. But yeah.
Now for the GT, are you still planning on doing all 5 rounds being 3 places of power?
Actually, I was thinking all 5 rounds relocation orb.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, completely set in the realm of beasts, and everyone has to bring their own monster, whatever monster you want. Full proxy. So if you want to bring a 4-roll monster, as long as the base size is fine, it can be whatever model you want.
We
really.
should just supply each table with Godzillas.
Yes, Matt or Sean. Will you paint them?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I have a Godzilla collector, so I'm like in Godzilla painting mode anyways, so he keeps getting all kinds of cool stuff from me.
So to stray from fitness and painting and models and whatnot, are you excited for King of the Monsters?
Oh, the new Godzilla movie.
That is out in, a week?
Is it really? Oh, man, I'm so out of touch. I just went and saw John Wick 3, and I'm going, okay, I'm pretty caught up in this. No.
Did you know they already announced number 4?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, I wasn't even halfway through the movie, and I knew there was going to be a 4th one. It wasn't, like, real obvious. It was a real subtle cue. I went, yeah, if that's not resolved by the end of the movie, there has to be a 4, because there's no way that's going to get unresolved.
Yeah, so mild spoilers, he doesn't die.
Yeah. What? I don't know if I saw John Wick 3 then. Oh, can we have the Avengers spoiler segment just for the laggers that haven't seen it as punishment for not seeing the Avengers movie yet?
Listen, everyone knows Thor dies already, all right?
Yep.
It's
of heart disease, oddly enough. So it's much funnier if you've seen the movie.
But I saw an interesting tweet today. It was Fortnite, and I know some people don't like Fortnite. I've played it on and off just for fun, but yeah, it is what it is. But Fortnite had a Avengers event twice, and one of them was Thanos, and you could run around as Thanos and destroy stuff. Now, Fortnite was in the last Avengers movie with Thor. So is the canon that the snap happened and the company that made Fortnite decided to capitalize on half the world going away and creating the Thanos event in Fortnite still because it all exists together? Is that how this happened?
Wow, that would be...
Is that like the worst form of capitalism ever?
I don't like this podcast anymore.
I mean, that would be... Oh boy,
yeah, we're losing all of our... Back to Warhammer. Let's keep the few listeners that we do have.
Well, real quick, to answer Matt's question, I'm very excited for King of Monsters. Very excited. I love the last Godzilla movie, so I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, I did too.
It's good that they finally figured out the formula,
Yeah.
Less people, more monsters.
Less, whatever was it 2001 Godzilla?
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah,
bad.
it was 2001, yeah.
Are you talking about China's response to our horrible Matthew Broderick nonsense?
No, our Matthew Broderick nonsense.
Oh, yeah, no, that was... let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Chuck's going to have to censor all kinds of stuff out.
It's going to be a long series of just a long beep. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to have one long beep.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this podcast is just going to be about all kinds of nerdy stuff in general. So
yeah, which it's going to be about a bunch of nerdy stuff, but you'll hear me mostly talk about Warhammer because I just lift and do Warhammer and listen to Taylor Swift. That's it. That's all I do. I'm not hard.
Well, now you have to start listening to what's her face, don't you?
Oh yeah, Katy Perry. Yeah, I mean for my Slanesh army, so we'll as needed.
Wait, what am I not getting there?
So
yeah, oh boy. No, after you. I want to hear you explain my lore.
Okay, well, please, I'm not going that far. So you know how he has Taylor Swift for
his soul animal or whatever?
Well, no, for his Daughters of Cain.
Yeah.
Well, he's chosen for his Slanesh to go Katy Perry.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So they can have their feud and drive my story. Although Anyway.
Oh, what was the recommendation I had for your Edeneth?
I don't remember.
Well,
Lady Gaga.
They should probably be Left Shark from Katy Perry then, right?
Ooh.
Shark dancer.
There we go.
Well, I know
I do have 2 sharks.
for his Sylvaneth, I said that he should name a character after Kesha and be just straight Asha, and then
Yeah, no, actually, that's still in my head, but I'm really, really into the Daughters of Cain armies and the Slanesh armies, whereas I enjoy the Sylvaneth and the Ideneth, but I'm not really putting my heart and soul into it yet, so I'm not worried about developing lore. They're just there for some fun right now. But yeah, no, Kesha for Sylvaneth, I could see that.
I mean, a lot of glitter on those models.
Oh yes.
oh
yes.
that's a Baruno Mars Hammer for your Stormcast. That was
No, that's right. Yeah.
And we're done there.
Yeah. I think I'm even going to turn this podcast off. No, well,
Chuck's like, this is a bad idea. I remember why we only record once every 4 months.
just delete it. Don't release it to the world.
That would make an amazing Celestin Prime.
I mean, he would. Yeah, it'd be fabulous. But before we go, for tonight, I guess we'll talk about some long-term commitments for our health and fitness. Me personally, right now is you can take it however you want, but I've never seen myself with any form of abs, and I'm kind of on that cusp where I could see them if I really dedicate to a diet pretty hardcore. So that's kind of my long-term goal right now, is I want to know what it looks like to have abs, at least for a day, and then eat every pizza in the world, because I really miss carbs.
So you go to a lot of conventions to get abs. That's
oh boy, that's yeah.
And
I need to be a little bit stronger mentally to get through that. But we'll see. I'm pushing real hard right now on the diet, so
you have to get the aerobics up there.
That's why I do the CrossFit.
I think you lift too much like weight to be able to get like good defined abs, because you go for the heavy lifting. Like when I was watching that short video of you doing a Frankenstein lift, one of my clavicles broke.
Well, actually, it is interesting. It's more about eating than the weightlifting. Like if I'm eating to lift heavy weights, I'm gonna have body fat. That's just how it is. It's you eat for what you want. So I am eating less. So yeah, I'm gonna lift less heavy weights.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's a whole nutrition thing that maybe me and Neil will do on our own whenever we feel.
Neil and I,
whenever we feel like doing it. But anyway, let's go with Matt. What is your fitness goals?
real quick, I have to be a little mean. So if in order to try and get into shape to get your abs, you went vegan, what would you talk about first? Veganism or CrossFit?
Only veganism.
No, because if you use an airbrush, if you CrossFit or if you're vegan, you have to make sure you tell people. That's the rule.
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't count, right?
You have to tell everyone.
It's like people in Pittsburgh. Unless you run on the roads, nobody knows, so you don't lose the weight. No, for me, I said it's. I've already kind of been. I've kind of already been going at it. So right now, the first thing, which will sound pretty simplistic, but or maybe even a little stupid. So my work is awesome enough to provide everyone with sit-stand desks. The problem is my sit-stand desk cannot go high enough to allow me to work while standing at a proper posture.
Sorry.
And so what I found the problem is all the cords for my computer are too short. So I've requested 6-foot cables for everything.
Oh man.
So I can actually stand at work. And so like right now I'm trying to see if they're willing to just do it, if I can just go out and buy it myself, or if I have to literally go through like and fill out paperwork to request this. But once we get there, again, to go more personal than anyone on the internet cares, right now the position I'm in is very high stress, and I'm working on moving into a new position. And as soon as I move into the new position, a lot of stress will be relieved, and I will quit coming home with, migraines, eye strain, and barely able to keep my head up. Once that happens, then it'll be come home, work out at bare bone minimum 3 days a week. Right now, the plan is because I fatigue very quickly, or I get tired very quickly, but I bounce back even quicker. So I'll walk for like 15 minutes, feel like I'm dying. 5 minutes later, I'll feel like I didn't walk at all. So basically, I'll just do that a couple times and dial in to figure out what's the right amount for me for right now.
Yeah, no, that's great. And like, you said it sounded kind of silly and, sure, first world problems, but little changes is what makes the big differences along the way. It's a ton of little changes. So no, that I think it's a very good thing you're doing. Who's next?
I think it's me. So my long-term goal is, like I said, trying to get down to my fighting weight, trying to get down to about, it's not going to happen probably this year, I wouldn't assume, but looking to try and get down around 175. But the goal for next year is to get to another convention that Chuck's at. We've been planning on lifting with each other at a convention now for 2 years, 3 years, 3 years.
The first one was me being lazy, and the second one was you being lazy.
That's right. So
we're
the
even
scales,
here.
The scales are balanced. So
I'll hold you accountable next time.
Yeah, so I want to be able to lift with Chuck here at one of these conventions. So not just be able to do it, but maybe even hold my own, so he doesn't have to switch plates every set. So we'll see.
I think there should just be a lifting me competition. Whoever lifts me the most.
Right. Whoever can deadlift Matt over there. That's right. I know Chuck can do it. I don't know if I'm there.
I can do it for one.
I'll go boneless, or I'll even start flailing. That's.
I was just gonna say, where are you going to put the barbell?
Right.
That depends how much money you give.
But that's long-term goals. Try and get down around 175, and and when I'm at 175, I can actually see the abs. So I put on weight kind of odd. It's just all in the face and the gut. So try and drop some of that gut weight.
Actually, I kind of sort of know what you mean. Like, that's if I make a goal to lose weight to a certain pound, I will get that goal, and then I'll kind of like move on and probably start eating to lift heavier again. That's why I'm not setting a weight. I'm not even checking my weight right now outside of for needing to do so for the Stormcast Strong Challenge, because I don't care about the weight. My goal is to see my abs, so that's what my focus is, because I know personally if I just do weight, I'll hit the weight and I'll be done and I won't go any farther. But does anyone have anything else to add tonight before we wrap up? Give out our social media handles and
Are my long-term goals for health not important? Or
oh, I knew I forgot somebody. Please go ahead.
You just want me to die.
Now you're one too little. That's.
I don't count at all. For me, it's just like I said. It's remembering not to take for granted that because I don't weigh a lot, that I can't be in risk of a heart attack, because heart disease runs on both sides of my family, thankfully. So it's like, yay. So my chances of having a heart attack in the next 30 minutes are pretty high at any given moment. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to get out of the job I was in too, because I was so stressed and always just worked up and whacked out. And I often tell people, it's when I started flipping out on customers and just telling them exactly what I thought and not caring anymore, I knew I was done, because I'm not a yeller and a flipper outer, and I don't do that stuff. That's not how I operate. And when I got to that point that's just what I was doing, I was done. I was very out, because I was getting in a place I didn't want to be mentally, emotionally, physically wore out, stressed, all of the above, which is bad. There's no money in the world worth that. So for me, it's having to always consciously make these decisions. And this building I bought is right across from a Sheetz, not even across a street. It's across a parking lot kind of. So I can just walk over to Sheetz at any given moment. So
explain what a Sheetz is real quick.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. If you live in one of the deprived states that don't have Sheetz gas stations.
Or another country.
Or another country. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm American and very close-minded that I'm the only person that matters. So, it's these amazing gas stations that people go, you want to go to a gas station? Why? They have like all kinds of stuff, but like their food is just good. Like they're just good food, and a lot of them have places to sit and eat and serve alcohol, and like they're just, I don't know, sheets are sheets. It's hard to explain if you've never experienced one, but like once you do, you go, oh, you know. Because like my sister-in-law is from Tennessee, but like every time she comes off here, she just like wants to live at Sheets. But like, so it's like this gas station is like a restaurant and everything all in one. And it's like, and nothing they make is good for you, like at all. Like even their salads just look like they're bad for you on a whole nother level. Like you're gonna catch some kind of like illness or something of some sort. But like, so for me, it's like one of the things I have to do is do deliberate shopping when we go grocery shopping of like healthy snacks like fruit cups and apples and you know, like trail mix if I feel like, you know, like I know trail mix isn't always the healthiest thing, but it's still way better than candy and ice cream and deep fried foods and stuff like that. So it's a lot of trying to make conscious, better eating decisions for myself and not take for granted that I can just eat all kinds of crap and not put on weight.
Only eat a dozen donuts once a week.
That's right. Yeah, it's my cheat day. I'm allowed. I can eat whatever I want my cheat day.
We need to get you on some meal prepping. That helped me a lot. Just knowing that I had food and I made it, I didn't want to go to waste. I would eat it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing now. That I have to go. Okay, you know what? I have stuff in the freezer. I have stuff in the fridge. I have stuff like right in front of my desk that I can grab. So it's like I'm not tempted to walk over there because sometimes, you know, just going, oh man, I got food right here. Walking across the Sheets is too much work now. So it's like, so it's kind of like I have
laziness.
Yes, yeah, kind of, yeah, pretty much. You know, it's kind of what it is. So it's just like one of those things of making ahead of time decisions instead of getting to like this building and realizing, oh, I don't have anything for eat for lunch. Better go over Sheets.
Well, I mean that is a big thing. Not to add on to the podcast. I'm trying to wrap up, but you know, like you always prepare like for your days. Like you prepare you lay your clothes out. It's like why don't you prepare your food as well? Why not prepare everything? It's an easy thing to do, and your future self will always thank you for just thinking ahead to save yourself time and energy and stress and guilt. Really. Well, with that, now that we didn't forget Sean and his important fitness goals.
I'm important.
Yay!
Somebody love me.
Where can everyone be found? What's their contact method of choice for social media if you have one? Neil, where can people find you?
People can find me if you're, like I said, the Ren 4 page, facebook.com, Ren 4. It's a closed group, so if you're interested in joining up or just seeing what we're doing there, you can find me on there. Other than that, it's a lot easier to find me on Twitter at Neil Araka. And I do occasionally post pictures of the stuff that I'm working on or retweet other stuff that I think that's looking cool in the hobby. So that's
you never retweet any of my stuff.
That is not true. That is not true. As long as it's not, if it's 40K, you're not getting on my stream. That's just not happening. So.
Matt, where can I find you?
Well, so that feeling that like when someone's watching you, or you see someone out of the corner of your eye, and you look, and there's no one there. That's me. All right.
Oh, okay.
So you won't find me. I'll find you. And but also, like I said, I don't really use Twitter that often, but it is at Lazenka NTM. That's LAZENCANTM. If you say something to me, my phone may or may not go off, and I may or may not respond. Other than that, I really think that we as a community should really pressure Chuck into getting Baruno Mars Hammer and get that mod started and get that Celis and Prime going.
Sean.
I can be found pretty much on every social media platform as Brush for Hire. That's BRUSHFORHIRE. And also brushforhire.com is my official website. And You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. I need the attention. I really do.
As for me, you could find me pretty much everywhere as well with strengthhammer_, or the easiest method, just go to strengthhammer.net to see my blog and links to all the stuff I do, including a YouTube channel, which I hope to get back to soon, but I'm going to need Sean or Matt, I'm going to need you guys to help me out with that. But that's
Okay.
future goals, but...
Well, just put this on YouTube.
No, I mean, I am. It's going to upload to YouTube. It's one of the... Okay, there we go. Yeah, you guys are helping me. Perfect. But anyway, thanks for tuning in and listening to our ramblings, and hope you enjoyed it, everybody. And as always, stay Stormcast strong.
Will do.
Yay.